Oh yeah, Demigra leader. Let's go over the ability real quick. When he attacks, you place the top 3 cards from your deck in the drop, and if they're all black, you draw a card. So this deck is mono black. You'll always draw a card off that ability. When you awaken, you untap 2. This awaken side allows you to overwhelm twice in a turn, or dark overwhelm, like one of each or one of both, or you know. You can overwhelm twice. He also has an activate main that allows you to fuel your overwhelm by putting 3 back from your warp in. So once you get to the late game, you don't have to worry about decking yourself out with him. You just keep putting stuff back in and using that to fuel your warp. I run a lot of 1-drops in the deck because since you don't have Nimbus or Coercion or Sensu or any of that to help you defend yourself, you need to have energy open for defense. So that's why if you notice a high number of 1-drops, that's why. First we run Poutine. She's a 1-drop that is a blocker, which is great to begin with, but she also has the added utility of allowing you to mill up to 2. And the up to 2 is very important because your deck is a resource when you're playing Overwhelm, and being able to be like, oh, I have 3 in warp, I only need, or I have 3 in my drop, I only need to get to 4. You only mill 1 card there. You don't need to mill that extra card just cause. So that up to 2 is really good to note and really helpful. And you can mill 0 if you don't need it. Our draw card and our way to shut down Shigesh if they're playing it is Time Control Cronoa. 1-drop draw card, not much more to say about that. Another 1-drop, even though he says 4, he's a 1-drop because it's Overwhelm, pay 1 energy, banish 4, so I consider him a 1-drop. This guy's great at controlling your opponent's hand. He's a 20k, so if they want to respond to the attack, they're spending cards out of their hand to begin with, but he also makes your opponent warp a card from hand on attack and allows you to combo with that card. So they're either warping an extra card or giving you a stronger attack. Great card, huge upside. I would not play this deck without this card in it. It's too good. The reason you'll see a lot of 1-ofs in this deck is we're running Trunks, Power Overseeing Time. He's a 2-drop in this deck essentially, and he allows you to grab any battle card back from your warp. So you could grab your super combo back, which is always a great option and what I tend to do most often. But in certain matchups, if I know I need a specific win condition, I'll try to mill it, hopefully, and then just grab it back with Power Overseeing Time. Because Dimension Control Demigra is so good, and I want to see him every game, I'm running an extra 2 ways to see him. This is a Dark Overwhelm 2 as well, so very low cost, and puts a 10k body on board. So not only does she search Demigra, she stays on board, unlike normal Overwhelm. Very good card. Big fan of her. This is another way we avoid decking ourselves out while still maintaining our Overwhelm. This is Gravy in Demigra's Thrall. Now you can either cast him for 2 or combo with him, and when he attacks or is comboed with, he actually puts up to 2 back from your warp into your drop area. So you can do a lot of funky stuff to make your turns extend once you're awakened with him, and with leader ability you can get 4 cards back into warp just off these 2. So you can summon a Power Overseeing Time or a Dimension Control or something. Really, really good card. I was playing him at 2 for a little while, and then I realized how integral he was to the deck. He's at 4 now, and he's staying that way. Our Awaken condition, Time Trauma Mass Sand. When you swing with him, I believe. No, when you play him, if you have a black leader, you choose up to 2 cards from your life. So if you have 5, you can just take 1. Add them to your hand, and then if you added 1 or more to your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 5 or less energy and send it to warp. So it's great at removing threats. You could even pop like bigger 5-drop threats with this as long as they don't have barrier. So not only is he great at awakening you, he's good for spot removal. Um, Another 3 of. This and Trunks are 3 ofs because they're more utility cards than win conditions. While all the other cards kind of tie into our win conditions, these are just more nice to have and help you do things a little more efficiently. She's a free overwhelm 3, so you don't have to pay any mana. You just banish 3 cards, and she lets you look at the top 3 and grab a battle card. So great to filter through your deck. The other 2 cards go to the bottom of your deck as well, so you don't mill extra with her, and you're able to kind of legally stack your deck, quote unquote. Next up, another free 3-drop. Because we're running the Demigra leader with the ability to put 3 back, those free 3-drops in the late game are really, really good. So her and Mira are great. She can actually like fetch a super combo. Mira could actually knock out an important card from their hand, because when you play him, they have to discard her. So, yeah. So that's why we're running that Mira. Now we get to the interesting part of the deck. Oh wait, before we get to the interesting stuff, let's go over our 2 extra cards we run. We run 3 Seasoning Arrow, and this is just phenomenal. It does a similar effect to this Dimension Control Demigra, forcing them to... Did they choose? Yeah. They choose 1 card from their hand and warp it, and you get to combo with it if it's a battle card, but it also gives your leader 10k. So you swing with lead, draw a card, activate this, you go up to 25,000, and then you combo with something in their hand. So you're potentially going up to 30k, or you could knock out an important extra card from their hand. And then to stay alive a little longer, we also run 4 times Judgment. I will almost never use the discard 2 to get a back effect, because it's too steep of a price just for a negate. But it's a black negate, that's why we're running it. Alright, now 1-ofs. We run 8 1-ofs. First up, Toki Toki Time Creator. This is going to be a lot more relevant when the Black Dende card comes out, because you can fetch him as well, so I might bump this when that comes out. But right now, this is just a 5th Cronoa. Pulls 1 out of your deck, puts itself back in. Hopefully you mill this later when you're out of Cronoas. If not, you charge it, it's 5k, whatever. Good for what it does. It's not super powerful in any way, it's just another Cronoa. And another 1-drop, which is good for the deck. You want to be able to do something in the early turns besides just like summon something overwhelm pass. So those are good for that. We have Haru Haru Attacker Majin. We're only running 1 just because yellow and green aren't super meta right now. If we entered another format like Mecha Frieza format where it's just like yellow or bust, this would be a 4, no doubt. Haru Haru, when you play her, if they have a green or yellow leader, you untap up to 4 energy. So we have a crazy combo with this, I'll show you in a second. But also, she's a 3-drop crit attacker, so great for that as well. Also, when she's played, you can mill up to 2, so more utility. For red or blue, we have Shun Shun Protector Majin. Now this is a 15k blocker. That same thing, you can mill up to 2 when you play her, but she, if they have a red or blue leader, when she's attacked, so when you block with her, she gains 15k. So she becomes a 30k blocker. So she's staying alive. They're not going to commit to get rid of a 30k blocker, and you have to commit very little to save her if they do. So between these 2, you can swing your matchups against any of the colors. And to be able to play these guys without having to fetch them off Trunks and hard cast them, we're running the 1-up Temporal Darkness Demigra. He's an SR out of the new set, or no, not the new set, the last new set 4. He's a 4-cost Dark Overwhelm 7, so it's very steep to cast him. You have to have 7 in your overwhelm, or 7 in your drop area, plus you have to have 4 energy. But if you cast him before and then you bring out a Haru Haru and they have a yellow or green leader, it's free. You get both these bodies for free. crazy combo. I love it so much. But yeah, what he does is he lets you play a 4 or less battle card from your warp. Oh, he also warps one of your opponent's battle cards. So for 4, you remove one of theirs, play one of yours. Not bad. And these 3 make for a very potent trio to swing matchups in your favor. Along with that, we run the 1-dimensional Banisher Fu. He is a 1 cost, 5 overwhelm, so 5 in drop, pay 1, and he kills a 5 or less. Oh no, he kills anything. He just chooses a battle card and KOs it. Awesome. Very great card to get rid of blockers or anything problematic that you're worried about. Next up, 1 Mira, Creator Absorb. This guy gets absolutely huge in this deck, and you cast him for only 1. So he could go up to 2 even, because he's really strong. But because we're not running, like, if anything, I would cut this Mira altogether and play 3 of him, but we're not worried about that right now. Right now, he's just there. If they're at 1, you need a really strong finisher, you only have 1 mana open, boom, there you go. And then our 2 5-cost win conditions. This guy's there if they have a really big board. So what he says is when you attack with him, he has triple strike to begin with. When this card attacks, if your leader is a demon god, which he is, and you have 15 or more black cards in your warp, which we usually will by this time, turn 5, so you gotta assume turns 1 through 4 we're overwhelming at least 3, so that's 12, and then turn 5 if we overwhelm, we'll have the 15 for sure. But he actually allows you to choose all your opponent's battle cards when he attacks and combo with them. And he ignores barrier as well. So like, give me your Vegito, give me everything else on your board. You're dealing with like a 80k triple striker. And it's great because if they're playing around the Demigra Secret Rare, which is our other 5-drop win condition, they'll usually have a really big board. And that makes this guy so insane. The Demigra Secret Rare, he's a Dark Overwhelm 7, so he stays on board. Doesn't really come out much, but he will stay on board if you pass turn. He's a 5-cost and another triple striker. He's 40k base, and he chooses 4 cards out of your opponent's hand. Oh, when he swings, you look at your opponent's hand, choose 4 cards from there, and combo with them. And this triggers even if they negate the attack. You can just go into like a combo step that fizzles. So when this card swings, you're making him essentially discard 4. Really good. So that's my Demigra build. Not much I would change. I did honestly recently add the Relentless Destruction Mira. I haven't tested with him much, but everything else I've tested a fair amount with. Dark Overwhelm Toa. Let me pull that up. I'm not sure. No, this ain't no weed, different type of high. Got it for the free. Never needed no dollars to prove worth. Or a slap in the face before I could move.